Wait for it, and we are live. Welcome to Torn Tuesday, everybody, your weekly dose of all things Tolkien. We've been doing this show for so many years. You saw that number right. This is episode 649. That means next week is Comic-Con week, and we will be hitting 650 episodes. And I can't believe that. So I don't know where Cliff is. I thought we had a healthy relationship here on the show, and he's late. And a wizard is never late, but a Quick Beam is. So I've replaced Quick Beam with our new co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him best as Nerd of the Rings, introducing Matt.
I wasn't sure which of us sitting here on this Zoom chat you were going to pick as your new co-host, so I'm honored.
Yeah, I'm pretty offended.
Yeah, Jordan is offended. Kelly's offended.
No,
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm like squatting in my closet, so I don't think I've got the setup.
Wait, I'm curious about this. Next week is episode 650. You're presumably going to be already in San Diego? Like, are you going to do this from the road, or is Cliff flying solo for episode 650?
Well, I thought we would discuss that after the show, but if we're going to air all our laundry right now, I will be at San Diego Comic-Con setting up next Tuesday because we have a giant booth. We have the biggest booth we've ever had. There's so much to do that I'm just going down a day early and going to be setting up. So I can't join the show. I can't do the show. So we're gonna have to figure something out for 650. So what are your guys' travel arrangements? You guys are coming in Wednesday and you're staying all through the week, right?
Yep. Correct.
Torn
all right.
Wednesday.
Well, let's bring up the group gallery because everybody should see who's on this conversation.
Everybody.
Folks, we are talking about San Diego Comic-Con. Which is next week. It is the biggest pop culture convention on Earth. There's over 250,000 people that are going to be there. Huge panels that we all went over last week. And today we're going to tell you all about what's going on at the booth, what's going on at events, how you get tickets to the events, and all this other stuff. Today, I am joined by our booth partners. All of these people here, you will see all weekend long at the booth. That way is Matt, Nerd of the Rings, our new co-host of Torn Tuesday, and since I'm not going to be on the show next week, maybe he can do
I
it
have
next
not
week.
signed I have not signed a contract on that, so you can't.
Contracts?
Yeah.
What are those, Precious? What are you, a company of dwarves? We're just friends.
You saw that agreement that they had with Bilbo, man. You gotta cross the T's and dot the I's. But yes, introduce the rest of the cast here.
And then right below me, right here, you know the name and you know the music, and now you're meeting the man, Jordan Ranels from a long-expected Soundscape. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Excited to be here.
And right next to him, in this box right here, weighing in at, never mind, we won't ruin the modesty, it is Kelly Rice, author of the biggest book of Middle-earth since J.R.R. Tolkien, and it is the heaviest book of Lord of the Rings that you can buy. And she is, of course, the creator of Happy Hobbit on YouTube. Hello, Kelly.
Hello.
Are you
That's quite the tagline for the book, by the way.
I know that last sentence about the book is probably true because I did weigh it and it was 7 pounds. So
7 pounds of inside info on the making of the Lord of the Rings movies. Now, right before the show, we were just talking. This is Jordan's first con ever?
Yep. It's I'm sure it's going to be super easy and relaxed, and only a couple people there.
Yeah, it's I don't know if you've heard, but it's not recommended to climb Half Dome or K2 without a bunch of training hikes beforehand. So you're really hitting the peak of conventions, I guess. Are you
I just
nervous?
don't have to go
Are
to
you
any more
excited?
after this. I'm excited for sure. I'll probably be at the booth most of the time, and I'll be, letting all you people guide me, hopefully, in the chaos that I'm sure is going to happen. So
Long
I
time
think it's going to be fun.
a Torn member in the chat room says, "Oh, you sweet summer child, you have no idea what you're getting into." Now, Jordan, explain what you're doing at Comic-Con, because I don't think people realize what they're in store for and why they should come to the booth to meet you.
Definitely. I'm going to have a full demonstration set up for my soundscape. So if you don't know what that is, my audio soundscapes are an accompaniment to The Lord of the Rings and other books, but Lord of the Rings for this, obviously. So I've designed sound effects and music and ambient environments for every part of the books from start to finish, and you can line it up with the official audiobook to have the two play at the same time. And I'm going to be doing demos, so I'll have my noise-canceling headphones on that we'll definitely need, I assume. And people can choose a couple samples to listen to and see what they think in the full 3D effect. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited.
So you're going to have noise-canceling headphones in the middle of the convention show floor where people can just disappear into the audiobooks and the world of Middle-earth with your music and the voiceover that we're so in love with.
Exactly. If you need a little moment away from all the chaos, it might be a good spot to go.
Close your eyes and just dive into Middle Earth in the midst of the chaos.
Exactly. Yeah.
Matt, you've listened to this. How much have you listened to Jordan's work? I mean, give us a little review.
I mean, I really enjoy it. I like that it's not. I've heard other like soundtracks put to audiobooks, and a lot of times the music is overbearing to the point where it distracts me too much, and I just can't do it. The nice thing is, like, Jordan actually shows some restraint in that regard, which I much appreciate. And I think, Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, you can kind of choose, like, if you want one with I forget, you have some customization, like, with
totally.
sound effects and ambience and everything.
Totally. Yeah. The really key feature of the soundscape is that it's mixed in Dolby Atmos, so that allows for the narration to be in the center and everything else to be around it and not in the way. But like Matt was talking about, you can have an ambience only version, you can have ambience and sound effects only, or you can have the whole thing with sound effects, music, and ambience, or you can have just the music for a D&D night or things like that. So there's tons of different applications for it. For sure.
And there's been times on some of my videos where Jordan has actually used we've used the score from his soundscapes in my videos. So there's certain ones that you've maybe, if you watch my channel at all, you might have already heard a little bit and didn't realize it.
And if you listen really carefully, you'll hear his voice as well on some of the
that's
significant
right.
moments.
I forgot about that. What did you end up using of my voice audition?
Well, you're a bunch of orcs for sure.
Oh, nice.
That's
good.
But you're also the screaming death of the Witch King.
Oh, that's pretty fun.
That was one of your main moments, for sure.
Yeah, that's my close-up right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Stealing jobs from Fran Walsh. And if that isn't exciting enough, I can't wait to show you guys this, but this is an Oculus headset, and it's hard to explain just how cool it is to walk around Casa Doom in your headset, just walking around and like looking around at the waterfalls and the cave structure, and listening to Jordan's music is just incredible, and I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Your Oculus there, Justin. Your Oculus looks like it was on like the lunar module or something. What is up with the gold on there?
I did a C-3PO cosplay, so I put it in gold foil.
Okay.
I was gonna rip it off for Comic-Con, or not. I don't know.
Or not. Yeah.
Or not. I don't know. Maybe I can find some silver foil. Matt,
Put the
before
ring
we
inscription on it.
get to the next reveal,
Yeah.
our former co-host Quickbeam is texting me that he wants to be let in. So as a new co-host,
Oh,
Forcing himself in.
yeah, do we let him in yet, or does he still need a timeout for being late?
I guess we can let him in. Like,
His timeout
but
already happened while he was.
yeah, he was dealing with some stress and stuff from looking at the chat. The folks in the chat know he's had a stressful time. Just know that we've already done the Miyazaki minute, so you can't do Miyazaki minute today. That's already been covered. Welcome, Cliff. Welcome to Torn Tuesday. I'm looking forward to your adroit observations.
There's nothing more adroit than the observations of Matt, Nerd of the Rings. And hello, everybody. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Justin. At first, I need to fill in the digital puzzle to prove to you all that I am who I am, because I've just spent a quarter of an hour proving to Google that I am verifiably who I am, because I was locked out of all of my accounts, including coming into the YouTube stream. Hello, everybody, and the lovely Torn Tuesday audience. Thank you for your forbearance. All that technical stuff is just too much for some of us. But I'm
Speaking
so
of
glad to
technical
be
stuff,
here.
I forgot to mention this at the top of the show, but the king of Twitter, Elon Musk, has decided to disable free streaming to Twitter. So we've been streaming to Twitter for so long. We were one of the first streamers using Periscope, and as of this week, I believe we cannot stream anymore, because I will never give that $10 for a blue check.
Is it $10? Man.
I don't know what it is,
No,
but I'm not
it's
paying for a
absurd.
blue check just to live stream. So we appreciate everybody that watched us on Twitter. Please come over to the YouTube chat. It's warm and cozy and has a bunch of good moderation tools.
The end of an era. Yes, we have much better Discord moderators. It's much easier and breezier over there. Jordan, Kelly, and Matt, thank you for coming, guys. It is so lovely to see you guys. Jordan, the quality, the seductive quality of your voice. Don't even, because now we're in my wheelhouse. Now we are. Here we are. It's so good. It is so very good to see you. And it is a great reminder to the folks that when you're getting the soundscape of Middle Earth, you do have those options to change from ambience to just music to just the centerpiece of it. It's just really, those dynamic changes can really make it amazing for your game table, for your D&D event, as much as for your reading experience for reading Tolkien. And I'm so glad you reminded everyone of that. It's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's really exciting now too that I have retimed versions, so that if you listen to the Andy Serkis audiobook, you can have that, or if you listen to the Rob Inglis version, you can also have it for that. So and they have totally different feels to them. You know, it's so interesting how it makes the soundscape feel differently because of how they narrate the books differently. So really interesting for sure.
Well, and you've done other ones too now, Jordan. Like, because you started off with Lord of the Rings, and it went amazing over on Kickstarter. But like, you've delved into other nerdy things. Like, I remember having conversations with you early on. I was like, "Hey, Jordan, you should totally do Harry Potter, because people would really like that."
Yeah. So the ideas are endless for sure. The first Harry Potter book is already done, and it's timed with both versions as well. That one was so much fun to do. And I've done the Hedge Knight from A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, if anyone is a Song of Ice and Fire fan. I also did the Winnie the Pooh with Sean from the Prancing Pony podcast. So his narration is actually in there, which is a lot of fun. And then actually, if it's okay to mention, my Kickstarter for the Soundscape of Time, for all you Wheel of Time fans, is currently running. It looks like Justin's bringing it up here.
That's so cool.
So it's rolling right now. We got 25 days left, so that's pretty awesome.
You are doing. You currently have a Wheel of Time full soundscape.
That's awesome.
I am almost done book one, and then the other, depending on how far the Kickstarter goes, We'll see how many I can do, but I'm going to do them all eventually, of course,
That
because
is
I can.
really exciting. That's a really cool approach. I
Yeah,
love this.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Awesome.
To put a little tiny brag in here, I was really excited today that Michael Kramer and Kate Reading, the narrators for this whole series, tweeted out their support of it. And so if you've ever listened to Wheel of Time, or if you've listened to some of the Brandon Sanderson stuff, really awesome to hear their approval of the project, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, they're fantastic.
So cool.
You write your own music?
Yep.
Of course.
Man,
Of course.
I know
Like
a lot of
magic.
musicians that can't write music. They just know how to play it.
They just play, yeah.
Are you like Howard Shore, where you have to write it by pencil and pen?
No. It would take too long. If I didn't have to do all the orchestration and stuff, maybe. But no.
Okay. Tech question. What's your favorite software for musical notation and orchestrations?
I do everything in Pro Tools.
Okay,
And that's
totally.
because it can do all the immersive audio stuff. And because I'm too fast on it to like try anything else right now, it would slow me down too much.
Okay. Far
to
outside
anything
frontier
else.
question. Have you thought about publishing your music? Have you thought
I've
about any other
definitely-
format of that, maybe?
Yeah, I've definitely wanted to do like collections of it, on Spotify and stuff, or doing, or not or, but and doing like sheet music for all of it. I think that
Yeah.
would be really amazing especially an annotated score would be really amazing to like sit
Yeah.
down with the soundscape and read it and see like here's Frodo's theme and here's Sam's theme and stuff like that. So that's definitely something that I want to do. I just need the time to be able to do it, of course.
Of course. Of course.
How difficult is it, if it is indeed difficult at all, to, when you're composing these scores, to undo what you've already heard from Howard Shore and from other composers like
From
David
John
Arnold?
Williams.
Like,
Yeah. I don't really worry about that kind of thing too much. I'm not purposefully avoiding Howard Shore because I think that would be a mistake. Same thing, it would be a mistake to not take influence from John Williams. Like, these are some of the best out there. I'm not going to copy the melodies, of course, but I'm going to try and evoke the tone of them because I just think it's not worth trying to be completely different from that just for the sake of doing that. I'd rather have it so that you can put on the soundscape and be like, wow, this feels like the cinematic Lord of the Rings that I'm familiar with,
yeah.
right? So that's with Lord of the Rings, for sure, it was definitely a lot easier, I'll say, to write themes than Harry Potter, but that's just because of the time spent in that world, But it's really exciting to be able to write themes for people we didn't get to see in the movies and things like that. So a lot of possibilities.
Well, Jordan will be at our Comic-Con booth all week long. He will have an ankle
Booth
chain.
1934.
So
You
he
gotta
can't
tell him
leave.
where.
Booth
Booth
1934.
1934.
34?
Yeah,
Is that what
Mhm.
it
I
is?
gotta remember that.
1934.
It's where Sideshow used to be. It's right in the middle of the convention along the big hall. I think there's a food court next to us. I mean, we just have a
pretty
wonderful...
close.
We're,
Yeah.
we're opposite Oni Press, which will be sharing the wall behind us, the reverse wall to us.
Right
this
across
is-
from Image Comics, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is this is
exactly.
gonna be so exciting.
It will be terrific excitement to have everyone together. Doesn't it feel like a family reunion, though, guys? In a sense, coming back to a convention experience, come what may, and year by year, those attendees who do come, they always professed that it feels like it has that quality of coming back to a gathering. 'Tis a gathering, like that.
Hey, look who's in the chat room now. T with Tolkien, who will be at Comic-Con as well. Hello, T. Looking forward to seeing you in person again. It's been far too long. Kelly,
Another member of the family.
what are
And-
you bringing to Comic-Con?
I'm really excited because like obviously I write a lot and I'm a published author, and so people usually associate me with the written word. Unbeknownst to most people, because I don't do too much of it anymore, I actually got my like start as an artist, and it's something that this is too much backstory, but it's something I like peaked at in how I was because I was self-taught and at the time wasn't very interested in pursuing an education in my art and was more interested at writing, which was something that I'd been doing in tandem, but just I felt like I could naturally take that a lot further on my own. But now that I'm like a grown up, getting older, I've started to do more artwork again because it just brings me joy, and trying to train myself to do art for the sake of art has been a baffling experience because I used to just draw all the time for fun, and now there's this weird voice in my head that's always trying to tell me to draw for a purpose, um, which is ironic because I'm about to reveal that my work is now being used for a purpose, and that purpose is to share with you my cozy Hobbit design that's going to be debuting at San Diego Comic-Con as a shirt. So I think this is when you're supposed to. Oh, is that the picture?
Yeah. I clicked it. Yeah.
You guys, this is super cute. This is so super cute, Kelly. I love this, and the reflection on the seasons, the reflection on nature, which is a very hobbity approach. I love this.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Talk a bit more about what's going on. You've got some words on there. I don't know if they show up on screen.
So, I was working with our good friend at one of our good friends at Middle Earth Enterprises, and we were going back and forth on, does it need words? Does it not need words? I said, I'm worried it's a little too obscure without words. So we added Seasons of the Shire, and I chose things that represent the changing seasons to me. And I live in Northern California, so it does get quite cold, but I feel like it's somewhat comparable to the weather changes in the Shire, because if they do get snow, it's a big deal. Like, the long winter is known as the long winter because it was, such a big event that happened in the Shire. So I took the knowledge that I have from gardening and from like walking with the Wheel of the Year and wanted to incorporate that into a design that just evoked having close friendship with the earth as hobbits have, and the bounty that the earth can provide. Winter was the most challenging for me to depict because I didn't want to rely on like mistletoe and things like that people always associate with Yuletide and with Christmas time. So I was thinking that, like, if the Shire is more like here and they're not necessarily getting a lot of snow, mushrooms, which hobbits love mushrooms are going to be a big part of their winter foraging and the winter landscape. And so I wanted to include mushrooms along with the pine cones and the holly in winter. And I just had a lot of fun. I mean, like, it's fun. It's fun for me to draw pumpkins. It's like going full circle to back when I was 5. And I just wanted to spend some time creating things that bring me joy and hope that they will also bring other people joy.
And you decided you couldn't decide on just one color.
I know.
So we've got a green version. And what was the name of this color?
Mauvulus.
Mauvulus.
Yes.
Wow.
Mauvulus.
Mauvulus.
And
I love Mauvulus.
I love a little mauve.
I'm curious.
Oh, yes.
I'm curious what the chat
the
room
green.
likes.
The green one is made from sustainable cotton as well. So it's like the green shirt's green.
Totally.
Mm.
And folks, you can see it here first. The first one came off the press today. There it is. I've got
Oh,
the first one.
Very nice.
that's great.
And importantly, Kelly, you really championed this idea of focusing on a cozy short shirt for women. So we're making V-necks. Like these are all V-necks and women's cut shirts, which is something that Torn hasn't done much of in the past. Kind of an underrepresented group of fans, which is the majority of the fandom.
Yeah.
So
Well-
I wanted to ask the chat, should we make some men's sizes, or should we stick with the plan?
Mm.
What were you gonna say, Kelly?
Could start a poll, These.
Yeah, well,
If I'm
I
if I'm
asked you
speaking
that.
into YouTube things, you could start a poll on YouTube, and then you could like get a vote if you're asking opinions. I mean, sorry.
But if there's like men, or there's a lot of women too who and other folks who prefer unisex clothing, and so I definitely think there needs to be an option. But since this is addressing a gap that has existed for quite a while in the One Ring, like I am excited that we're making a shirt that, I mean, it's not really that dramatically different. It just has a little bit of a cut there and probably a little bit more like give in certain areas. But we also made sure that they were flowy. Maybe that's just like a personal thing. I don't really like clingy clothing and not clingy shirts. And I think that's why a lot of people want to buy unisex clothes, because they don't want to feel like they're wrapped in something tight. So I'm hoping that they'll have a broad appeal. I mean, I think they're super cute, but just because I think they're super cute doesn't
They
mean
are.
everyone will think they're super cute. But if I could, I'd have like a whole line of Hobbit gardening everything. Like,
It's actually adorable. It is. I mean, we need to realize that some of the strongest themes always come from Tolkien's observations of human behavior from the Hobbit's perspective. Their experiences, their observations, and I love that. I love how, honestly, I hate to use this word, but it's such a very wholesome design. It's gorgeous, and thank you for providing that for us, Kelly. It's really lovely. It's really
it's my
lovely.
pleasure.
So Kelly likes the red one best. I like the green one best.
It's not red, it's Movulus.
Marvelous. And then a bunch of people in the chat are like, I need a white one for sure.
Mm.
Really?
I also kind of like the green one, I think.
Right?
Well, the
Yeah.
difference is that you've got a green door, which suggests Bilbo and Frodo and Bag End. And then on the green
Mm.
one, you have a golden door that's more like Samwise's home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they're different. There's a different print for each color shirt. How
Yeah.
clever. How very clever. Well, then I would take the golden door on that heather green background. I really love that. It does remind me of number 3 Bagshot Row.
That's what I
I
was
love that.
thinking. And this is probably the coolest thing is that I believe this is the very first official Happy Hobbit merch ever made. Is that right?
It is.
Ah,
That's true. It's very true.
Yeah, you're right, it is.
Yeah.
How about that?
Look at you becoming
I
a
haven't-
full-fledged YouTuber with a merch store.
That's right.
I haven't seen the shirts yet in person, but we were doing the measurements because some people in the chat are asking about how tight they are, and that's why we decided to go ahead with it, because when I was doing the measurements against like a classic medium shirt that I had from Kohl's, and the medium in of the blank shirts that we were looking at working with was bigger, and I had a very flowy medium, so I'm hopeful that they're gonna be roomy for those of us who prefer roomy fits.
If you guys want to look it up, it's I believe we're using Bella Canvas shirts. It's a brand a lot of people might be familiar with. Bella Canvas women's V-necks or girly V-necks. If you guys want to Google that.
But I think we're getting that response from a lot of ladies in the chat because, like me, if you've been around long enough, you remember when like baby doll shirts and ladies shirts were being pushed, and they were insane. Like, I bought a large once that fit as an extra small, and I don't know what was going on there. I don't know who was making decisions, but it left a lot of us like wary of like ladies sizing. And so that's why when I actually pulled out my little tape measure and saw what the sizing was, I was like, okay, this is actually like human sized. It's not like toddler size that they decided adult women wear.
It's crazy. I remember that year. I remember
and
that.
These are not crop tops, even though they're popular. I think most of us aren't in the crop top business, and not anymore, at least.
Not me. No. You know, I'm still quite dismayed that I went from a regular large to an XL. I'm still dismayed with that, but I'll live. I will live. I mean, at my age, that's maybe not so bad after all. Now, Kelly, let me ask you real quick. Are you going to bring any beautiful copies of the Afterworld series or the Darkling, dark fantasy novels? Will you have some of those to share with the audience as well, maybe?
I don't know. That's a future conversation we'll to have.
Okay, we'll
with
find out.
Books
Yeah,
are
with the rest
so
of us.
heavy to ship, guys, and you know, we're all slugging it with our luggage and everything else and cosplays. Like, books are so heavy. I
They
said
are
no.
heavy.
I suggested no. Don't bring the books.
No, I'm just asking out of idle curiosity. I didn't know, but I thought that there might be audience interest in that, perhaps.
Well, like Justin said, it's cost so much. The last 2 years I've been so privileged to be able to have my novels at the booth, and like that's been fantastic. And if it were easier, I would probably do it in a heartbeat. But like Justin said, the shipping of the books back and forth, even within the state, has been a big financial burden and just not really made it that doable. But I did think to make some bookmarks. So if you were hoping to buy a book from me and you wanted a signed book, I have bookmarks with a little special coupon code that you can use to order directly from my Etsy shop, and I will sign it and personalize it for you, but you'll just have to receive it in the mail rather than
Excellent.
a convention.
Well, I'm sure if any of the fans want to grab them, they can order with you, talking to them about it, and they can get direct shipping to their home after getting the order online. That's easier, much easier. Very good. Very good.
Speaking of bookmarks, are we holding the other two little things for a surprise?
Aren't we? Wait, are we going to talk about the stamps and the coins too?
Hang on, we're still on Kelly.
No, maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh, I know
Maybe
what you're
not.
talking about.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some,
Okay.
I guess, freebies at the booth
Oh, really?
to give away.
I'm really excited. We're not going to reveal them yet, I guess.
Okay,
No,
I
we
didn't know
should
if you
not
like had a
reveal.
picture you were gonna put up or what. We
No.
didn't plan
No,
this
I
out.
don't.
I was gonna say this was really well planned out, guys.
Yeah.
Super. Leave the surprises as total surprises. Totally, leave them as a surprise.
All right.
There's some
well,
very hobbity, especially very happy hobbity freebies that we'll have at the booth. One harkening all the way back to, I think, our first year of making videos, which was back in the elder days of 2012.
Okay. Wow.
Kelly's bringing
Oh my
some of
God.
her baking. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. I would like a carrot cake, please.
Homemade carrot cake and biscuits and lembas bread and
I want us to sit on
wild
the plane
honey.
with a carrot cake.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen on the plane. That's hilarious.
All right. Matt, you're going to be at the booth
Whoa.
all weekend, but you're coming prepared this
Yeah.
year.
I mean, was I that poorly prepared in
Well,
previous?
no, you just did. I don't think you had much of any.
What?
You
I
gave
don't
out
think-
little buttons last time.
Oh
right?
yeah. Which I did as you guys were talking. I was like looking at how much of a mess my desk is, and I found a bunch of stickers, Nerd of the Rings holographic stickers here. So
Oh, I
I'll
love
bring
those.
these. I'll bring
love
these
those.
and like hand these out to random folks too.
Show those up again with your.
Oh yeah, there they are. Whee, holographic. Nerd of the Ring stickers. There we go.
They're supposed to cover your Apple on the back of your laptops.
You
that
could
people
do
don't.
that. Yeah, you
that's
could
what
do
they're.
that.
They're the perfect size to cover the
Perfect
Apple.
size. Whee!
Yes.
By the way,
so there you
if
go.
anybody in the chat room is watching real quick, someone last year gave me this Sauron with the One Ring holographic
That was one of
sticker.
Caitlin's. That's
No,
one of
Oh, that
Caitlin's.
is one of Caitlin's.
I need
labels.
another one because this one's kind of like Roach. So I need another one. This is not Caitlin's. I asked Caitlin. I sent
That's
her a
not?
picture of this, and Caitlin said this wasn't hers. This was someone else's. So
Really?
I
Then
don't know
I
whose
stand
it is.
corrected.
I don't know
Okay.
whose this is,
All
but
right,
if
all
you
right.
have any more stickers,
Okay.
stop by the booth. I would like one, please.
That's crazy. I totally
Anyway,
stand
sorry
corrected.
Sorry to interrupt. You were talking
No,
about
no.
stickers, Matt.
Oh yeah, no, I have stickers, so those will be some freebies. It's not a huge stack. I do have some fun giveaway items, so I think one of the days. So keep an eye on, we'll post it on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff. But I do have some giveaway items. So to give you an idea of a few things,
Ooh, giveaways.
we've got some books. So we've got one of the One Ring role playing game. We've got the Ruins of the Lost Realm, so that's a fun one.
Such a fun
we've got
game.
The Hobbit, illustrated by Tolkien. So we've got a copy of that to give
Oh,
away.
I love that.
We've got. It's a lot of books. So, see, what I'm doing is I'm bringing these with me, which in theory should give me enough space for the stuff that I buy there to bring back. So, Maps of Middle Earth by
strategy.
Brian Sibley and John Howe. Another recent release. And then I've got let's see here, which volume is this? This is book set number 1 of the History of Middle Earth new box sets. So yeah, that, and I've got a couple other things, might have some other fun surprises as well. We'll keep you posted. And then Justin's showing off, we're gonna have a hat and a t-shirt, Nerd of the Rings
Ooh, that is so
hat and
good.
t-shirts.
That is so good.
And you might wonder, what are the color options? Kelly had all these fancy named color options. Mine is blue. That's the one option. Keeping it simple.
Navy blue, no less.
Navy blue. Yep.
This
Yep.
hat
Justin
is
said,
fresh
"Do you want to
off.
do a second color?" And I said, "No, just one.
You're sticking to the
We're
brand.
sticking
So these,
to it. We're keeping
these
it
are
simple."
fresh off the press. This is brand new Nerd of the Rings official hat. That's the full ring skip. Now, Matt,
Whoa.
you just saw
Look at that.
Kelly do
Look
a
at that.
great job explaining the theory behind her art. Now it's your
Yeah.
turn to explain this exclusive, why this Comic-Con stuff is exclusive.
So we took the text. Okay. We took the text of Nerd of the Rings and we made it white instead of gold.
Whoa.
So I mean,
Blow down.
I think it goes without saying there's some like really deep philosophical stuff going on, real thinking artistry.
It's now Gandalf the White's hat.
I guess so. I don't know. Justin was like, I think we should go with 2 colors. And I was like, all right, cool. And then
Wait,
he printed
isn't
off.
that
I
a
was like, that
custom
looks
ring
pretty
strip,
sharp.
though?
That is the official ring script. Yeah, that is the officially licensed, like, Middle Earth Enterprises provided the beautiful ring script there. So yeah, that is not like, I tried making my own, and the good folks at Middle Earth Enterprises were like, here, how about you use this? And I was like, okay.
Nice.
So shout out to them. It's awesome.
So
That's
we
really
we got-
awesome. This
we-
looks
you got
great. The shirt looks
hats-
great.
Hats and t-shirts,
t-shirts.
both in navy blue.
Mhm.
And this is really
That's a
exciting.
great
is
choice
this
to
the
do navy
first
blue.
time you've ever done merch at a con?
Yeah, because I've just done like the stickers and pins. I've given those away a couple Comic Cons now, but yeah, this is the first time that I will have in-person merch.
The chat room wants to know.
I gotta say, I like it.
Will you sign
Wow.
the bill of the hat?
if you want me to graffiti your stuff, I will gladly graffiti your stuff.
Bring those silver Sharpies.
I have to say, I'm pretty sure it will decrease the value of whatever it
No.
is that I'm putting my name on. But
That's
if you
adorable.
if you come buy a shirt or hat, like, yeah, sure, I'll put my scribble on it.
Oh, no one. Kelly, will you sign your custom designed shirt as well?
If someone wants me to, I'd be happy to, but
This is really exciting, folks. So for the first time ever, Matt is bringing merch to Comic-Con, and Kelly is bringing Happy Hobbit merch to Comic-Con, and you guys kind of you basically said buried the lead there, but everything is above board, officially licensed, blessed by Middle Earth Enterprises. This is official Lord of the Rings merch. Just like you can get at Hot Topic, just like you can order at WB Shop. This is as official as everything else, and it's officially licensed. And I guess that's the big reveal that we're doing today is everything at the booth is officially licensed for sale. Like everybody's gotten permission. We've gone through all these approval processes. There's legal lines of copy.
You know what? And that's the
everything.
same. It's the same legal lines that had to be signed by Saul Zentz and had to be signed by Ralph Bakshi, and the same agreements that had to be made by Electronic Arts when they had to make agreements to extend video games into this world. It's the same agreements that Peter Jackson had to sign with the help of his producers and friends, Mark Ordesky and everybody. It's the same deal. You know, it's amazing though.
Oh, I got one right here.
This is amazing
Hey,
to
look
have
at that.
Nerd of the Rings merch, first scale right there on the sales floor in the exhibition hall during San Diego Comic-Con, side by side with Jordan, who's going to be right there sharing music and insight into the soundscapes of Middle-earth with Kelly Rice, and all of us together, friends and volunteers from the OneRing.net. What a booth we're going to have. Remind the audience again, Justin and Matt, what table number we have on the exhibition hall.
1934.
1934. What a very good year. I'm sure that the red wine was beautiful that year. 1934. That means we're in the middle of everything, not far from the entrance of, I think, entrance hall D, C or D. Not far from that.
I think
I'll have to
B.
look at the map.
Let me bring up the
I'll
map.
double check.
Let
me
Yeah,
double check on that map.
enter B or C.
I was going to say
This
C.
this
We
is
might be
all
close to
based
C.
on a text that I got from Kirsten.
Yes.
She says enter door B or door C.
Gosh, how exciting. Everybody, I hope that we get a lot of familiar faces and folks who usually come to see us every year. And well, let's not bury the lead. Jed Brophy is going to be joining us as well.
Yeah.
At the table. Just not bury the lead at all. I mean, the star of Rings of Power.
He's just rifling through these.
I'm loving the fact that Jed Brophy is coming to join us. And he's also the star of Heavenly Creatures and every single Peter Jackson movie that ever existed from the 90s beyond. And he's in it. Seriously.
Yep, we're really excited to have Jed Brophy back.
I'll say
this year, and you guys, Matt, you can attest to the energy that Jed Brophy brings. I mean, he takes a picture with anybody that'll ask. He'll sign any of his headshots for a nominal fee, and he's just good energy, isn't he?
Incredibly, yes, and he's so good with the fans and loves chatting with the fans. I love just like standing there listening to the conversations he has with fans. He tells so many great stories. And like you said, you know, you described it as a nominal fee. Like, it's incredibly reasonable, the cost of buying a headshot and an autograph. You know, having been to a handful of cons in different places, like it's crazy how good of a price it is, especially for San Diego.
And Cliff, Jed Brophy has a unique place in Lord of the Rings film history, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Very much so.
What is that?
he has played a character in every single of the 6 films, either as an orc or an elf or as a dwarf. He's played, and if I'm not mistaken, he might have carried the torch for every single species in Middle Earth. Maybe not the Edain. No, wait, he was also Rohirrim. So yes, so he's been Rohirrim, Edain, he's been orc,
He's
he's
not been
been
a
dwarf,
wizard.
he's been elf. Okay, then that's the one. The
That's the one.
Istari is the
Yeah.
only one he has not been. And he's been in all 6 films. It's just amazing what he's
And
done.
Rings of Power. He's a sevener, as they call
In
them down in
and
New
you
Zealand.
and connected even better to season 1 of the Rings of Power. And it will take a very fine eye of the fandom to pick out which of those orcs is actually Jed from season 1. It will take a very fine-toothed comb to make sure you can tell which one is him. But that's a testament to the quality of the prosthetics and the makeup that they did for these orcs in season 1. And they'll continue doing that. I'm excited to say in season 2, they will continue to have amazing prosthetics effects and facial makeup for these orcs.
You know what? That's a
But
great question from the chat room. Is Jed Brophy voicing someone in War of the Rohirrim? Well, you'll be able to ask him in person. That
Oh,
movie has
should ask.
That's a
been
deep
locked
cut.
up tighter than Amazon.
That's-
There have been
that's
no
a deep
leaks.
cut.
No leaks for
Nobody
War of the
knows.
Rohirrim right now.
Nobody knows that yet. Oh my
Nobody
gosh.
knows that. Cliff, all right. Kelly did a great job of explaining her designs. Matt did a great job explaining his design. So it's your turn to explain the significance of the shirt we debuted a couple weeks ago. Our Comic-Con exclusive, limited
This is
edition, relevant to all of our interests this year.
When you don't know who to vote for the Gollum Smeagol ticket. There you go. If you're unhappy with your choices, that's the joke, I think. If you're not happy with all these choices, whatever electorate, wherever you're at, that's okay. We cater to everybody in the whole world of Tolkien fandom. Whether you're this or that, we don't care. But just you want to spend your vote on the Gollum Smeagol ticket. That's the winner. There's the winner. Not only will they be hearing voices in their head during a crisis, but they won't be able to handle anything over to the vice president because it's actually they themselves and I. But we'll worry about the weird existential crisis later on with that. But honestly, the funny joke of this shirt, I think, begins on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Is that not? It's a ticket back to that pop culture moment when Viggo Mortensen pulled open the buttoned shirt and said, "This is," he said, "This is the T-shirt that I've got underneath." And Steve and the studio audience laughed for several minutes because he had the Frodo, was it the Frodo Samwise 2024 shirt that he had? So we decided it appropriate for San Diego Comic-Con, where we love to do a good parody T-shirt, and we have a long-standing history of doing good parody shirts. So this is our parody version of the Viggo Mortensen shirt that he wore with Stephen Colbert.
Has
really
Lord of
hilarious.
the Rings fandom been political like this before, Cliff?
No, we have studiously avoided politics.
You're wrong,
throughout our
because I remember
career.
Gandalf for president buttons in the 70s.
I'm talking about just stuff the OneRing.net has presented.
I'm talking
but
about
if you-
fandom.
Oh no, fandom in the 60s had all those hardcore badges and buttons that said Gandalf for president, and it was quite the slogan in the anti-Nixon sentiment of that era at the time. It was really the big sentiment for college kids and the anti-establishment college kids to do all that Gandalf for president, and they had bumper stickers that said Frodo Lives everywhere. That was quite the thing for the college kids to have. It really
And
was.
if you ask
And I
nicely
don't know
at the
that
booth,
Professor Tolkien was happy with that entirely. That was the part of his fandom that Tolkien thought was rather sus. And that was the point when Professor Tolkien was like, I think I've had enough of my deplorable cultus. Quote unquote, that's what Tolkien said. He couldn't deal with the LSD and the mushroom references and the marijuana references from all of his fans of college age at the time. He totally had a hassle with that. Go ahead, Kelly. What's up? Kelly.
So when I was first awakening as a Lord of the Rings fan in my youth, I would see the Frodo Lives stuff and I was always really confused. And in fact, because I came to it through the films, I remember being like, oh, he must die. Like, So I'm curious, could you
Oh,
unpack that for me? What that's a reference to or a play on?
um, I think it's I think it's a play on um the fact that I think that the cultural statement about Frodo Lives was pretty much that he is the ongoing spirit that
Okay.
lives on, you
Yeah, like
know?
he lives on. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
That it's kind of it's more of a statement of he may have crossed over in the Grey Havens, but he lives on as the spirit of endurance and the spirit of hope, you know, as
Okay.
if as if as if they dialed into the message that there should be no more despair, instead that hope should surface. After all, when we're looking at the larger narratives of Tolkien's works and his literature, it is a larger thematic point. Perhaps if you want, I don't want to be reductive about this, but it is the endurance of hope against despair. And I think that the cultural statement is there in the Frodo Lives sticker, I think.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but of course, of course. But our t-shirt right here, the Gollum Smeagol 2024, is probably a little bit more wink wink and a little bit more snarky than most of the shirts we've ever done.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
I agree
true.
with the chat room.
Maybe.
I do not support his platform on potatoes. And I really enjoy rabbit stew. I've gone hunting for rabbits and cooked rabbit stew at night. So I'm fully like and you know what, the chat room wants to know, Matt, will you do your Gollum voice if they ask at the booth?
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I, precious? We've got to make the people happy.
If a fan comes up to you and offers you a nice brace of conies, what are you gonna say?
Uh, oh gosh. What is it that he said? Oh, he says, give it to us raw and wriggling.
Oh my God, that's too
That's what I'm
funny.
here for.
I need to print
Energy.
out a
You
political
need-
speech that at the booth so you can
Oh my God,
so we
So
can
that I
read,
could.
read from
Oh
you.
my gosh.
What you need is a tip jar. What you need at the booth is a tip jar. Every time you do the party piece of
Oh
doing the
my
Gollum,
gosh.
you need a tip. You need tips in the tip jar.
And we've got one more shirt to debut. This is, of course, we've been talking about this all year. It is our 25th anniversary, folks. The One Ring is 25 years old this
Whoa.
year. So
Wow.
we are celebrating with a limited edition. I'm only making 100 of these. Limited edition. And the silver anniversary. 25 is silver anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Wow. Yes,
So,
it is.
So we decided, we found some silver glitter ink. So we've got silver glitter ink to celebrate our 25th anniversary, silver anniversary edition. Of course, that is the One Ring original logo, not across, but stacked like that. 25th anniversary, and then we've got what slogan from the books, officially licensed, do you think we should put on the back? No less than, of course, the one everybody comes to when you think about birthdays. You haven't aged a day. So silver glitter for our silver anniversary, our 25th anniversary,
That's
super
great.
limited edition.
That's such
We'll
a
be
great
at the
design.
booth. Once it sells out, it's gone, and you will forever be one of those fans that has a One Ring anniversary shirt. We've made some special anniversary shirts over the years. We made some bowling shirts a long time ago. And they're collector's items. We still see fans coming to our panels with some of these shirts that are now 25 years. Some of them are 25 years old. So this is one of
So
those.
they need a new one.
They
So
need
this
a
is-
new one, and this is a special collector's shirt, if I may say so. So we're really excited to celebrate our
so
25th
cool.
anniversary with you all.
That's really a cool shirt. I love it.
All right,
Well,
we're
and
coming up on the
congratulations
hour.
You know, before we go to the new hour announcement, congratulations to all the volunteers and all the people who have worked behind the scenes. Many of them you people don't see here on Torn Tuesday. I mean, it might be the case, it might be true that generally Justin and myself are having conversations and doing interviews and analysis, but behind the scenes, there's Kelly and there's Kirsten and there's Jim Wirt, who comes out to help us for the March Madness, and there's Kathy Udoch and so many talented people who are busy working behind the scenes. And so to all of them, I say a tip of the hat, a tip to your 25 years of creating this community website. And it's much deserved that we should have a celebratory shirt. I hope I can
here in the chat. We've got Josh Long from Collecting the Precious in the chat. Or at least he was here.
Could never omit Josh Long, and
Varking is in here too. Hello,
Varking is with us, and so many talented people. And of course, there's Kalasuri and Tahanu and Korvar and everybody working behind the scenes, the founding folks, and Zoanon, of course, Zoanon. But wow, 25 years later, I cannot believe that we were ever that young. All right, moving on. Moving on to top of the hour announcement. Go, Justin.
Yeah,
Justin.
Are you guys pressed for time?
I will have to leave here in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Well, then before you go, we should talk about I think that's all the booth stuff. Oh, that's not all, folks.
I want to show one thing if I can too.
Yeah.
That I forgot to show, just really quickly. I'm gonna have these there.
Hold on.
I just want to listen to you talk all night long like this.
It's very.
I love it so much.
All right, speak so you're front and center, Jordan.
Jordan, show me.
They have they're just wooden USBs for my soundscape.
Hold it up again.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
That's so cool.
There we go. So that's a wooden soundscape box that I'll have at the booth as well. So it'll have all the files on it, ready to go.
Exclusive.
That's so cool.
Exclusive. And folks, guess
Actually,
what
that's
else
really
we
neat.
have? You
really neat.
supported our friend Jackson a few weeks ago with a huge Kickstarter. These Lord of the Rings Kickstarter cards. I just got the cases of them today. We're bringing the Lord of the Rings playing cards to Comic-Con.
Wow.
I opened the first deck, and they're all here.
They're awesome. Yeah.
Oh, they are so cool. This happens to be the Two Towers edition. Who do you think is the King of Hearts? Any guesses from our
I remember seeing
Is
it.
it Aragorn?
I remember seeing it from the Kickstarter artwork. Is it Aragorn?
Here it is, folks. Is that Old Man Aragorn? I think that's Theoden, isn't it?
See, I can't really see it on my
Oh.
screen.
All right. Well,
You're looking at it, Justin. Who is it?
A tartan.
they don't have the
That's
names
Theoden.
on
the
it.
Bruce.
Is it Theoden?
Maybe it
Yeah,
is.
that's Theoden. That's definitely Theoden's sword.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. That's definitely Theoden's sword. And so there you go. Yeah. Amazing designs. These are all, again, handmade, custom artwork, hand drawn.
So cool.
And ooh, look, there's an Ent. Right there
Oh,
as the
no.
King of Diamonds.
The Ents have awakened.
So we're really excited to offer these for sale at the booth at a special convention price. And these are officially licensed. They've got the legal copy down at the bottom of the box. So again, we're going official this year. The OneRing.net is official. It is official. Everything at the booth has been officially licensed by Middle Earth
So cool.
Enterprises Embracer. So
cool.
I guess this leads into our the wonderful news about Embracer and Middle Earth. What else do we have to announce, Cliff and Matt and Kelly?
Some panels, maybe, right?
We have a certain Irish actor who may be playing an Eastery in the far eastern regions.
Well, that's after Matt leaves, but for the panels, we've
That's
got
for after. Okay, that's a late.
Embracer
we're
and Middle
burying the
Earth
lead.
are joining both of our panels. First one is these two guys right here, Matt and Cliff. We'll be having a panel on Friday night at 8 p.m. And we will be joined by Embracer Middle Earth to get the most official, real deal information on what's coming up and what fans can expect out of Lord of the Rings in the coming years. So we're going to the source.
Yeah, and it's posted on the Comic-Con website. So I'm assuming we are allowed to say publicly that there will be exclusive footage of War of the Rohirrim at this panel. Which,
say that again?
Exclusive footage of the new animated feature, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim.
In theaters this December.
In theaters, December 13th.
Very exciting. Very exciting stuff.
FYI, guys, this room only holds like 300 people. So get in line early if you are going to be at Comic-Con and want to get into this panel.
That's the room they put us in on Friday night. Yes, 300 people. And we'll accommodate everybody as easily as we can, but you must get in line early. Great advice.
This is again,
this panel is going to be amazing.
Official. This is official. We didn't get a leak of video that we're showing. This is all above board.
Yes.
And very
and
secret.
Shout out to John Mayo of Middle Earth Enterprises, who's going to be joining us on the panel. Very exciting.
Oh my gosh, that is going to be very cool to have John joining us. And you know what? This is the kind of stuff that would have been in Hall H, but instead it's in our room. The exclusive footage of War of the Rohirrim is in our room. Oh, holy
Matt!
Holy
how
moly.
excited
That's
are
a whole
Matt?
Different level.
Come on, Matt! Like
I'm
holding
pumped.
back your excitement.
I am pumped.
I'm terribly excited.
I have a couple cosplays planned, and one of them is Rohirrim related, and I am
That's beautiful.
Pumped about it. I'm not even gonna reveal it yet because I'm gonna hold on to this secret.
I'm a big supporter of Matt and his creative cosplays.
It's fun.
It's fun. Please do. Go for it.
It's fun. I will wear it. I will wear it to the panel. By the way, I will wear it to the panel for sure. Yeah. But yes, I am very, very pumped for this. I've been excited for War of the Rohirrim ever since it was announced. I just think it's a cool idea to do a story disconnected from like the greater mythology. It's a self-contained story. This one moment in time that's this pivotal moment for the Rohirrim. But has no real ties. I mean, everything evil eventually ties to Sauron and Morgoth, right? But like in this story, it doesn't tie to Sauron. There's no Sauron. There's no Ring of Power. We're not looking for the One Ring, anything like that. It is just this self-contained story. And I think animation has people don't give animation, broadly speaking, the credit it deserves for the storytelling device that it is. It gets written off as for kids a lot, and if I'm not careful, I'll get on a soapbox here. But needless to say, I am in good company along with the likes of Guillermo del Toro, who made an incredible adaptation of Pinocchio that was animated, and it's fantastic. And you guys should watch it. And yeah, so I am excited because I think animation is a great format. And yeah, I'll just keep going on and on if you let me. So
no, I'm the first
transition
person,
here.
I'm the first person in the room to back you up, Matt. It is always encouraging that we can broaden the definition of the animated medium and how it has provided to the history of cinema and storytelling in many, many formats over the years. And the underselling of it, you could write a whole separate book. You could write many books about how animation has been undersold to the American public. And that might lead to conversations about the success of the Disney studios and how they brought animation to, a focal point in the 30s with the success of Snow White. And Professor Tolkien hated, in retrospect, as a useful counterpoint, he hated those representations of dwarves compared to his dwarves, which also came out in the 30s. and yet animation is inexplicably tied to fantasy and sword and sorcery. And
It's
as
specifically tied to Lord of the Rings. Don't skirt the issue.
I would not.
Lord of the
I'm
Rings
not skirting the
started with
issue.
animation.
I'm talking about so many other filmmakers all in one huge umbrella, and suddenly you talk about whether animation can suit a more mature audience. Let's inject that into the conversation. People have been talking about that for decades and decades, about whether the adult audience can sustain its own interest just because it's an animated medium. And Ralph Bakshi was up against those challenges with his original adaptation of The Lord of the Rings in the 70s. Quite to your point, Justin. But
Well, we
now,
can't stress enough
it's
how
going to be
limited
huge.
space this panel will be. It's 8 p.m.
Yes.
Friday, and I'm predicting the lineup will start in the middle afternoon. This is the first time the public is being able to see footage, actual finished footage from War of the Rohirrim coming out this December. And you will get to see and hear a conversation with Middle Earth Enterprises Embracers John Mayo and some of the people here on this panel right now to talk about the current and future of Lord of the Rings. And I'm telling you, the lineup is, we're going to be turning people away. Like,
Yes,
a
indeed.
lot of people
We
away.
will.
Because,
It'll be
Well,
a
Comic-Con will
spectacular-
be.
well,
We
Comic-Con
won't
will be. We'll be
personally.
inside stressing.
They'll be the
And-
bad guys.
And the people at Comic Con will be saying, "Why didn't we give them a bigger room?"
Yeah.
That's the
And
ultimate end of that story.
I've got to say that John is one of the most fascinating folks to talk about because he's lived and breathed Middle Earth so long. You know, he's been around since the film days and has some great behind the scenes stories of, you know, merchandising and stuff, you know, from his role back then. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to listening as well as talking. I will gladly, you know, be quiet and listen to John's stories while we're on this panel.
It'll be
It's going to be
fabulous.
awesome. And we've got
It'll be
another
fabulous.
huge panel that I'm possibly equally, maybe even more excited about that Kelly's going to tell you about. But Matt, I know you're pressing for time, so
Yes.
we're going to let you go. Thank you, Matt, for joining us on this show, and thank you for coming to Comic-Con and being a part of our
Yes.
little fellowship.
Absolutely. Yes. And I know you guys will probably get to it, I'm sure, here on the thing. But I am also really looking forward to the Hall H presentation of
Oh, we haven't even
Rings
talked
of
about
Power.
Amazon
I
yet.
know. You haven't even talked about that. But, you know, I will say, like, that Hall H presentation that they did 2 years ago was legit. Like the just the video and audio presentation was insane. It had like this, you know, like the One Ring logo in the middle, and it had like this emanating effect, and it was just so well produced. And then they had Bear McCreary come on and perform the score. Like, such a good panel. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what they have this year for that. But thank
It
you
was
guys
dynamite.
so much for having me. This was fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week.
It's always
All
a
right.
pleasure to have you here, my friend. Your edification and your excellence is always appreciated. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Be safe.
Kelly, you have got an amazing panel on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Saturday is like the hottest day to have a panel. It's the biggest crowd of the whole week. It's the first day that it always sells out. There will be a line for this panel, but for good reason.
I hope so. Before I get into it, I just want to say my sister, who you guys will probably know as Feely from the shows in the chat.
Yes. Oh, hey, Feely. Phoebe's
If you wanna say hi to her.
Hello. Hey there. How are you?
But yes, it is called I Am No Man, the Creative Women of Middle Earth. And this panel's really a dream come true because my hope was to get together as many women as possible who have worked creatively in bringing Middle Earth to life, because I feel like their contributions are often overshadowed. For example, 2 women wrote The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit alongside Peter Jackson, but the average person just goes, oh, it's Peter Jackson, which isn't wrong, but also I feel like it's important to highlight the contributions of other people too. And women historically have been overlooked for their contributions in pretty much every area of life. So this is a way to give them a platform, and San Diego Comic Con is a big platform, and to give them an opportunity to share their stories and share what they have done to contribute to bringing Middle Earth to life. And as far as I know, we can now share who they are, can't we?
It's all you. I have no
Okay.
idea what you've been planning.
It would be
Because,
lovely to learn more.
well, the first person I'm happy to share is the wonderful Frederica Drodos, who is the brand steward and manager at Middle Earth Enterprises. And so
Excellent.
Middle Earth Enterprises, if you don't know, is the organization slash company that has the rights to the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. So back in the day when Tolkien sold the rights, he sold it to a gentleman who, through multiple iterations, it now became Middle Earth Enterprises as we know it today. And so she has fantastic insight. She's a massive Tolkien fan on shepherding different licensees and how those conversations have evolved, and her role as a steward of Tolkien. She takes that incredibly seriously, as of course she should. And bringing that oversight, that level of oversight to any adaptation that you'll see of those books and products as well, video games, board games, all of that. So she's fantastic to have on the panel. We'll also be joined by Lisa Birchall, who is a business manager at Weta Workshop. I've got all the like proper titles. I should head of business development at Weta Workshop is Lisa Birchall. And she's of course a fantastic person to have because she's going to be able to bring a lot of the Weta perspective from New Zealand. And she's also in more of a shepherding role. And so we've already had some fantastic chats as we're like brainstorming how to go about this discussion on her approach to the fandom. And of course she's going to come with the capacity to talk about other projects and things that Weta are doing in the space of Middle Earth, such as a certain video game that's going to be coming out soon. We will also be joined by Harless Snyder, who is, she works for Wizards of the Coast, and she is the manager of global events, and she played quite an integral role, from the sounds of it, of the development of the Magic the Gathering cards that came out, I believe, 2 years ago in 2022.
Last year.
Oh, it was just last year? Okay, just last year that we're focused on Lord of the Rings. And then we are also going to be joined by Margaret Mauvois. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name properly. She is the senior art director at EA Games. And for those of you elder millennials like me, you will probably remember her work because she was in charge of the Two Towers and the Return of the King video games that were coming out in tandem with the films. And then also one that I believe is called Battle for Middle Earth. And so just in my conversations with her, it's already been really fascinating to learn about the challenges that they faced to bring Middle Earth to life in a 3D landscape and in ways that we didn't see in the film. Because if you recall, in those games, you could go a lot of different places and locations than that was just the locations that were restricted by the camera lens. And so she's also a massive Tolkien fan. She's really looking forward to coming and speaking. And of course, like, it's pretty well known that in the video games industry, it's very male dominated. And so she's also got some fantastic insight to share of how when she first started, she was often the only woman in the room. And now, thankfully, that shift is happening, and that's not the case anymore. So our panel is, of course, going to be centered on Tolkien, and we're going to be talking about, the enduring appeal of Tolkien, Tolkien's female characters, but also I wanted to give them an opportunity to share their experiences as women working in the world of Tolkien and bringing Middle-earth to life. So I think it's going to be an incredibly enriching, insightful, hopefully uplifting conversation.
I am so looking forward to this, and this is just going to be just an important conversation to be having right now, which is crazy to say in the year 2024. The fact that life, society is dealing with a lot of these issues over and over again, but through the lens of Tolkien and Middle Earth.
And it's fascinating because a lot of people have been critical of Tolkien for not having so much of a representation, or not representing women so often. And people have different opinions, of course, on the roles that female characters play and how they're portrayed. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation because just in the chats I've had with these women individually, people have different perspectives. And each one of them, I'm like, you're right. You're also right. So it's not about who's right or wrong. It's just about sharing different insights. And it's really helped me, just these conversations I've had with the panelists already, it's really helped me reach more of an understanding of where I fit in the Tolkien, how where my feelings are, because I've always had kind of mixed feelings of like, well, I love it. I can also understand why some people are critical of it, but also why some people champion certain characters. And is this even something I need to make peace with? Or, is it just pure escapism? Is it something that I actually want to bring some real world gravitas to? So as you can tell, this is getting kind of like deeply psychological, but it's been very fascinating to me to see what it's brought up in myself. And I'm hoping that it will help start the conversation for a lot of other fans, because this just keeps coming up. Like Justin said, it keeps coming up when people do switch around the casting or highlight female characters more than previous adaptations, such as in Rings of Power. So it is very topical, and I think the more tools we have to talk about the subject and the more perspectives we can represent, the closer we'll get to actually maybe having some understanding and being able to continue on our way, so to speak.
And and the other added benefit of attending this panel is not only are you talking with producers of the best reviewed Lord of the Rings game of all time, Return of the King on PlayStation 2, but the next 10 or 20 years, there's so much Lord of the Rings being made. There's new video games. Lisa at Weta is going to talk about the new cozy video game that they're making down there. There's new huge AAA video games being made. There's movies. There's TV shows. There's so many ways to contribute to Lord of the Rings now for the next 10 years. You all here, everybody in this fandom that has a creative itch, that has a talent, you've been waiting for this moment. And it sounds like this is the type of panel to hopefully inspire someone, even if it's just one or two people in the room can be inspired to shoot your shot. Go get that job. Go work on these Lord of the Rings things, the show, the movies, the games. That's what we
follow your passion. Yeah, follow your passion.
Well, this is exciting.
Absolutely.
This is so exciting, and it's just there's so much going on at Comic-Con between the booth and the merch and the panels, and we have yet to talk about the parties. And I've got information on that, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time. I don't know, Jordan, if you were pressed for time or anything.
I think I might have to head out, and I'll leave the details to you guys to share. But I'm excited to see you all very soon.
Well,
I'm
before you
excited
leave, Jordan,
to
I want to
talk
remind the
with you.
audience. Yeah, I'm very excited to talk with you too. But look at everybody. If you're going to Kickstarter, then dial in the words "the soundscape of time," and you'll see that they've already got 25 days to go, and they're at thousands of dollars, and they're doing really, really great in their progress on this Kickstarter. You can learn more about those details that Jordan Rennells has set up there on Kickstarter. And thank you to everyone for giving that a beautiful look and a good listen, a closer listen. It's always worth it.
Thank you so
Very
much.
exciting.
And I will say, to add a tiny bit to that, is if you do back the Kickstarter and you haven't gotten the Lord of the Rings soundscape already, it is an add-on that you can choose. So you can back the Kickstarter and get the Lord of the Rings as an add-on. So that's pretty cool.
Right. That's very cool stuff.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing the whole thing in person at Comic-Con.
All 63 hours worth. That's what you're going to do all week.
How long is Comic-Con? 5 days?
That'll be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll see you
Thank you for
soon.
being with us today, Jordan.
All right, and because of the time zone, Kirsten, our fearless leader here at the OneRing.net, sent in a video. She's in Scotland, I believe, right now. So the time difference, it's like 2 a.m. there. So she sent me a video talking about the party and how that's going to go down. So here's your exclusive info on the Amazon OneRing.net official Rings of Power party.
Hi everyone, it's Kirsten, aka Green Dragon from the OneRing.net, and I am very excited to be part of the One Ring's presence at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Now I know that Justin and Cliff are going to do an amazing job of telling you all about what's going on with our panels. Some very exciting things happening there, and with the booth that Justin is leading the charge on, and there are going to be some exciting special guests joining us at the booth throughout the weekend. I want to tell you a little bit tonight about the fan gathering, the party, which we are thrilled to be co-hosting with Prime Video this year. This is the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power moot. It's going to be on Friday at 1:15 till 3:15 in the afternoon. It's an entirely family-friendly event. There will be some fun photo opportunities. There will be some costumes from the show to see. There will be food and drink. There may be some swag. And the event capacity is 200 people. Half of those people will be the lucky ones who also at the event get to meet some of the cast from the show and get autographs from them. So here's what you need to know and what I can tell you at the moment. The Eventbrite for claiming these free tickets to this exciting Friday afternoon event will go up on Thursday of this week. I can't reveal yet what time that's going to go up. Keep an eye on social media. But the Eventbrite will go up on Thursday. You'll be able to claim your free ticket there. And then on that Eventbrite, you will see details of how you can come to the OneRing.net's booth on Thursday of Comic-Con, show us either on your phone or print it out that you have a ticket, a general admission ticket to the party. And if you're one of the lucky ones, when you show up with that ticket, we will give you a wristband that gives you the opportunity at the event to meet the cast who will be there and get autographs. So everyone who comes to the event will get some swag and will have a great fun time. Half the people attending the event will be able to get in line to get those autographs and meet the cast, and you'll need to follow the instructions on the Eventbrite and come and visit us at our booth at San Diego Comic-Con on Thursday in order to get that special wristband opportunity to meet the cast at the fan gathering. So Thursday's the day to be standing by looking out for the Eventbrite becoming available. If you want to know more, join our Discord and keep watching social media. And we hope that you will snap up those tickets and join us and Prime Video and cast from The Lord of the Rings of Power to have a wonderful party together on Friday afternoon. Can't wait to see you all in San Diego.
All right. Thank you, Kirsten.
Thank you, Green Dragon. What very exciting developments are happening. Wow.
200 tickets. Those are going to go in less than a minute, I predict.
Lightning fast.
Lightning fast.
This is going to be such an exciting show. I'm so excited for all the stuff they're going to do for season two. And this lovely event on Friday happens to be just a few hours before we'll have our 8 p.m. panel on the same evening, that same day.
That's right. I
Um,
believe it's like middle of the
wow,
afternoon, 1:30. All the details will be on Eventbrite. So be at your computer
that's right.
or on Wi-Fi with your phone. Make sure you have good internet on Thursday morning. You heard it here first.
Hmm.
To
Thursday
get
morning.
on the Eventbrite ticket. Once they sell out, they sell out. And as she said, you'll
Yeah.
those who get a ticket, those who get on the Eventbrite list, uh, will come to our booth on Thursday for a chance to be one of the lucky 100 to actually meet the cast. I don't know who's there, but last week we reported on all the actors we knew that were coming based on their social media posts. So you can guess how many people, how many actors are going to be there. It's going to be really exciting. And anyone that was at our party last year will know, or 2 years ago, will know what's in store. It was just a fun time.
It was such an extraordinary event 2 years ago, and I mean that in the best possible sense. There was at least, I think, 15 or 18 cast members there. It was a great ensemble of everyone and the showrunners and really talented people who'd been working behind the scenes. And I got to give props to Venue 808 because they decorated the space in such a beautiful green Shire-like motif with all the trees and the greens and organics everywhere. It was really lovely. It was a
and
great
and,
party.
and people are still making cosplay off of the photos taken at that party of the
That is true.
costumes. So
That is
so
true.
bring your good camera and take as many detailed photos as you cosplay, because you never know when you might need a highly detailed. Question from the chat: what do we have to do to be one of the 100? You just need to be lucky. First off, you need to be lucky that you get in before everybody else and get on the Eventbrite list. And then secondly,
Yes.
you just have to be lucky. We're going to randomize, I believe. Don't take my word for it, but I believe it's a random selection. But don't quote me on that. So it's that's what's going on. Also, I am told that on the Eventbrite, there's no plus ones. It's one ticket, one person, one email. You can't put +2 or +3 or I want to bring my whole family.
That
If you
makes
want to
that a
bring
lot
other
easier
people,
to deal with.
everybody
Yeah.
needs to register on their own. So
And the other component is coming to visit the Torn booth on Thursday as well to get special access wristband. Yes.
Taffy in the chat room says, I regret not taking more pictures of the costumes. Again, we haven't even seen season 2 yet. We don't know the significance of those costumes, how much screen
Indeed.
time they get, where they end up. So, I'm telling you, people regret not taking, you see it in the chat room right now, people regret not taking more photos of the costumes. So the fact that we're hosting an event with Amazon Prime Video with all these costumes is just exciting, and I'm so happy that that we're able to commune and break bread with these untouchable people that have been working in secret for 2 years on this magical 8-episode
It's
season 2.
really remarkable. The kind of stuff that we get to cover at Comic-Con includes Rings of Power on Prime Video, and exclusive look at the War of the Rohirrim, and I'm going to provide on the Friday night panel an exclusive look at the collected poems of J.R.R. Tolkien, which is coming from HarperCollins in a very, very special edited collection that includes the earliest poetry that Professor Tolkien was writing when he was just a teenager and just fresh out of the box, starting to create new ideas of an elvish language. And so we'll have exclusive merchandise and t-shirts and hats for Nerd of the Rings and the OneRing.net at our booth, as well as our Friday panel about all these things in Middle-earth, including very special guests from Tolkien Enterprises, Embracer Group, and we'll be talking about so many exciting things coming up, not just season 2 of The Rings of Power, which is super, super cool especially with Círdan. I'm so excited to see these recent images of Círdan with his elvish beard, and it's so stylish and so cool. I'm just very excited about that. And on top of that, exclusive look at War of the Rohirrim, and then on Saturday, the panel of women in Middle Earth with these very talented creatives from the video game industry, from the publishing industry, and those who work behind the lines at Tolkien Enterprises from a woman's point of view about their contributions to Middle Earth. We are covering, with the OneRing.net, covering everything at our booth and our panel number 1, panel number 2, and the event on Friday with Prime Video. We are giving everything that is the exclusive J.R.R. Tolkien experience.
And what we aren't
at San
doing
Diego
is
Comic-Con
actually
during all
giving
of it.
a goodbye to Kelly. She had to bounce during the video presentation from Kirsten from Green Dragon. So we want to thank Kelly Rice for jumping on. It's
Very
Happy
much
Hobbit's
thanks,
dinner time,
Kelly.
I'm sure, or something like that. Or she needs to attend the pumpkin. She'll be at Comic-Con. She'll be at our booth all week. And we thank Kelly for putting together that panel, because she is the moderator of that panel. She's putting it to get together. To answer a couple questions, do you need to pick up tickets at our booth? No. If you're on the Eventbrite, you're in. If you get in on the Eventbrite, we got your name, we got your email, that's your ticket. If you don't have a ticket to Comic-Con, that's not a problem. You don't need a Comic-Con badge to get into the party. Do you need a ticket? Do you need a Comic-Con ticket to get a golden to get the special signing wristband? Yes. We are giving away the wristbands exclusively at the booth until otherwise notified. Again, everything is we're still working out all the details, so stay tuned to the Eventbrite. All the details will be listed on the Eventbrite. But my current understanding is most of the signing meet and greet wristbands, a special elevated experience, will be available if you come to the booth itself. So that's how that's working. All right, before we let you go, it's been an hour and a half. We're talking about Comic-Con, so we've got a little bit of Rings of Power news before we let you go. And this is Green Dragon gossip. I guess from here on out, if you don't want to be spoiled, we thank you for watching the show, and we'll see you in Comic-Con in San Diego next week. But if you don't care about spoilers, we're about to enter the Green Dragon gossip era of the show. So for the next 15 minutes or so, let's dive into it. Shall we, Cliff? We have a huge piece of gossip. But first, if you look at what posted this week, today, Total Film published their big magazine preview, and they posted it online for Rings of Power Season 2 with an interview with Owain Arthur, who plays, of course, Durin the Young, and they talk with showrunners Patrick McKay and JD Payne about the show. Here's the thing. This official magazine article and this official interview can be considered a huge spoiler. This is new. This is the first time.
Spoiler of the narrative of the show. Big time.
Yeah, not a
Big
leak.
Time.
This is an official spoiler of the show.
Indeed,
they are at the
that's true.
point in the marketing campaign where they are revealing actual narrative structure to the show. And in this article, again, this is not a leak, this is official information. A lot of fans were disappointed. A lot of hardcore fans were disappointed that they spoiled things, didn't they, Cliff?
In some levels, but that there was so much secrecy 2 years ago. Why don't we compare the fact that they're being more forthcoming now to the fact that 2 years ago they were holding all the information close to their chest and not revealing anything? So if I had a choice, I would prefer this approach that we're seeing now, that they're revealing some characters and names and specific narrative points of interest. I think it's a great reference for the fans to get excited about, really.
Well, the question I want to ask you, Cliff, because in this new article, the showrunners describe in detail the opening scene of season 2. The opening
Yes,
scene
they do.
is
And-
Adar getting Adar doing it's a Julius Caesar play, the Ides of March, as they've teased. But in this article,
Et
they
tu,
describe
Brute,
it.
is
They
now et
describe
tu,
that
Adar.
Sauron
Right?
plays. Sauron is Julius Caesar, and the opening scene is they're in that big castle that we saw in season 1. They're in that castle, and as Adar is about to crown Sauron with a crown, Adar flips the crown upside down and spears his forehead.
Stabs him with
Adar
it.
spears the head of Sauron with an upside down crown, and then stabs him in the back with a knife.
Yep, in Durnost. Thank you to the live chat, Durnost. That's right, last one. And what a reveal. That's like the biggest spoiler that they've ever specifically given. And it's kind of shocking compared to the pattern of secrecy we had 2 years ago. It's
So, Cliff,
amazing to be told this.
I want to ask you, do you
Yeah.
like this more than the leaked opening that we reported back in January that was more along the lines of the IU Lindale?
Yeah, it totally replaces the music of the Ainur. And you know what? I guess that was all just stuff and nonsense. Maybe all those rumors on the stupid 4chan website, Pi R squared Chan, it was just garbage. Maybe it was garbage rumor, but maybe there'll still be room for them to show some bits and bobs of that. But if the showrunners are telling us in this interview that that's the opening of their show, then that's the opening of the show.
Do you think that they would not tell the truth in this article, or the full truth? Do you think that they're still hiding what the actual show? I don't believe so. Let me phrase this a different way.
Possible.
Cliff.
Do
you think them revealing in a major magazine the opening scene of season 2 is a direct response to our leaks about the potentially fake opening scene?
Maybe so. However, in the past, and to their credit, the showrunners have proven to be masters of obfuscation. So maybe they're continuing to be masters of obfuscation, but maybe not. Maybe it is a direct counterpoint to us leaking this bizarro assumption that they had licensed huge chunks of the Silmarillion and made it part of the entire backbone and story of Sauron in the show. So maybe this approach is much more believable, really, because honest to gosh, we have not seen anything else to indicate that they filmed anything like that, like the music of the Ainur. We've seen nothing with the
that would
many
all be
behind the scenes.
CGI anyway.
But you never know. They've shown other behind the scenes stuff that they were really proud to show, and they haven't shown anything of the pre-world before Arda was created.
Right.
You know, before EA. It was actually called EA.
I think
as a
so.
functional creation. So metaphysically speaking, they might be better off not touching on that material, and they can just go right into the opening of season 2 with the rivalry and the viciousness between Sauron and Adar. Maybe that makes more sense. Maybe.
I disagree with Cliff. I love the leaked idea of the history of the world from Sauron's perspective. I love the idea of showing parts of the IU Lindale, and the
I love
idea
that too.
of showing
I was
all of the
excited for
Maiar
that.
spirits talking to each other. Remember, one of the gossip was
I'm excited for that.
Sauron talking to the wizards, saying, and the wizards like, bro, we ain't joining you. So I like that idea. And I do believe that this particular official statement in a big magazine is a direct response to the leaks. Because in just a couple weeks ago, the showrunners said that they watch and read every single comment and word about the show. We know that they're terminally online. We know that they're listening and they're paying attention. Hi, guys, if you're watching. So...
Hi everybody! I'm excited for this stuff that's happening. Whatever's happening,
this has to be a response, because the second part of this is, again, a lot of fans, and we're just reporting the news. A lot of fans not a lot, many fans were very disappointed to be spoiled like this in official capacity. There's a difference between a rumor and a leak that comes from a leaker and something printed in a major magazine where it's like, oh, I guess that's the opening scene then. Like, it's kind of... I love... Like, you can hang on the mystery just a little bit, maybe.
But
Like,
what if this is more obfuscation? Which I wanted to just leave that on the margins of the conversation, please, for now. They're telling us this is the opening scene, and what if it's just one of many opening scenes?
this is true. This is true.
Just saying.
People
Just
in the chat room.
saying.
There's a bunch of people
One
in
of
the chat room
many,
that have never
maybe.
seen the Ides of March, that don't
You
really
mean
understand.
Shakespeare's Julius Caesar? It's called Julius Caesar.
It's called Julius Caesar. It was written by
Yes.
Shakespeare. There have been
Yes.
many movies. The Ides of March, starring George Clooney and Ryan Gosling, is not what we're talking about. That's a movie.
We're talking
but
about the original
Ides of
Shakespeare,
March-
The Tragedy of Julius Caesar.
The tragedy of Julius Caesar is the murder of Julius Caesar. And here's so if you're unfamiliar with how it goes down, you won't believe this, folks. You won't believe this. But this will lead into our second Green Dragon gossip scoop today. But before, for those in the chat room that don't know about the murder of Julius Caesar and the Ides of March, I found a clip from Rome, the TV show, where Kieran Hines
Well, here we go.
plays Julius Caesar. So here is Kieran Hines, who we're about to talk about what character he plays in Rings of Power. He is now a new cast member of Rings of Power. Here he is on a previous show he was on as Julius Caesar.
Where's Marinus?
He was with us a moment ago.
Never mind. Marinus?
Great Caesar.
I know, Barker, I know. I have not forgotten.
If I may, gracious Caesar, you were going to consider revoking my brother's exile.
I'm still considering it. Take your hand off me.
What are you waiting for? No! No! No!
There you go, folks. That is the Ides of March with
That's
Kieran Hines.
That's the tragedy of Julius Caesar.
That is what everybody refers to the Ides of March, and that is exactly the scene that the showrunners McPain keep referencing in all these interviews in all these magazines. Not specifically this particular show, but they mentioned this historical scene. The murder of Julius Caesar by his most trusted lieutenants.
Listen to this. After ignoring the soothsayer, as well as his wife Calpurnia's own permissions, Caesar goes to the Senate. The conspirators approach him with a fake petition, pleading on behalf of Metellus's banished brother.
Yeah, we just saw that in the show. Is this based on a real? Is this a true story, or is that the Shakespeare fake?
This is the Shakespeare story, but
right,
Brutus is
but we just
last,
saw
and then the
that.
most famous line that's not shown in that clip. The most famous line is when Caesar sees his friend Brutus also included in the people who are stabbing him, and he famously says the ultimate line of all Shakespearean literature, "Et tu, Brute," which means, "And you, Brutus?" recognizing he's being stabbed by his trusted brother. And then he dies by saying, "Then fall, Caesar." If you want to get into Ian McKellen level approach to Shakespeare, you got to include all that. That's the important stuff. Seriously.
So they're starting season 2 with a inspired Middle Earth
Mhm.
version of one of the most iconic scenes in literary history, in one of the most important stage performances
Mhm.
in the history of the stage. They are going at Shakespeare from the get on season 2.
And there will be memes that say "et tu, Hadar." You're right. You're totally right, Katie. Katie's right. There will be memes that say "et tu, Hadar" instead of "et tu, Brute." And now you guys know the connection in case you hadn't recently read Shakespeare. But I grew up on that stuff when I was a teenager. I think it's kind of exciting to reach back to the classics. It's exciting and appropriate to have other great classics referenced through the lens of Tolkien, and I think it's kind of a cool setup. It's very cool.
Another thing
However,
that the
I would love to see the Ainulindale stuff. I would really love to see that as well.
and now
I'll admit.
we don't think it's going to
I'll
happen.
admit.
Another comment from this article is Owain Arthur saying you're going to see different aspects of Khazad Dûm. I can say that much, and it's real exciting. I'm annoyed because I really want to tell you about these animals that were on set. They were incredible, but you'll just have to wait and see. Cliff,
Okay, wow.
What animals live with the dwarves in Moria?
I could not grasp the concept. I don't know. I
He
do not
can't.
know.
He refuses to even hint at what animals were on set.
I don't know that. Oh, if the dwarves look, the first time the dwarves had any relationship with wild animals on film was them riding the wild boar. Remember in Battle of the Five Armies? You know, when when Dane Ironfoot from the Iron Hills comes into battle riding a wild boar. Otherwise, I don't know for sure that the dwarves have a specific, relationship with animals in Khazad Dûm. Billy Connolly had the pleasure of riding a boar into the field of battle in the middle of that film. So that's certainly a settled matter of cinema. But in the books, in The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, I don't know that there are specific animals mentioned. But he did say, who said corgis? Zap Apis says corgis. That's cute. You guys are really funny. The rumor that's been launched and further corroborated by Total Film is that Ciarán Hinds will not even be in Khazad Dûm, that he will be in the far eastern lands of Rhûn. And check this out. First, Fellowship of Fans had rumored this, and we get further confirmation.
It's actually Drew. Rings of Power had the scoop.
Oh, it's
not
Drew.
Fellowship of Fans.
Oh, forgive me. It was Drew. It was Drew.
Credit the right people, but according to Rings of Power era, Ciarán Hinds plays an Istar and a wizard in Rhûn. This is a mock-up.
They would be one and the same.
This is a mock-up of what he potentially could look like, and if you notice, his staff looks incredibly like the map of Mordor. Remember that icon that we saw with Sauron?
Oh, yeah,
all through season 1. The little what do they call that?
A sigil.
Sigil.
Yeah.
His staff looks weirdly like the sigil. So this is an artist rendering of what you just saw him as Julius Caesar, and now we will see him as a Istar, a wizard in Rhûn.
Let the speculation begin. Is he a blue wizard? Is he Saruman? Who is he going to be? Let the speculation begin now, everybody.
Well, what do you think, Cliff?
I honestly have to say this. They've introduced the stranger, and that was Mr. Wayman from last season, Daniel Wayman, and now they're going to do this Ciarán Hinds. So now we're going to have two wizards. And the only two wizards who have been missing from all the storytelling are the blue wizards, LOTR and Parlando. So maybe it's ultimately going to come to that. And I have predicted weeks and weeks and weeks ago, with some tremor of excitement, that the appearance of Tom Bombadil means that Tom is going to refresh the stranger's amnesia and give him a name, give him a proper name. I think by the end of season 2, we will know specifically who these wizards are, and I'm starting to lean that they might be both the blue wizards. Alatar and
in this
Palondo.
new Total Film,
That's
in
what I
this new
think.
Total Film article, the showrunners say Círdan isn't the only newcomer this season, with Game of Thrones actor Ciarán Hinds making the leap from Westeros to Middle Earth as a wizard hunting down Daniel Wayman's mysterious figure, the Stranger, who may or may
And you
not
know
be
what?
Gandalf.
And they end up in the Far East, in Rhûn, and that's exactly where the Second Age story like this might want to put them, because even though the Istari appeared in the Third Age, at least because of the time compression, we understand that the two blue wizards did go far off the map. Far off the map. And maybe that's the whole point of this story, is that we're going to get a lot of stuff going on in the Far East that will impact what's going on with Numenor and the War of the Elves and Sauron, and the other crises that are happening in other lands of Middle-earth. Maybe there will be a grand-scale map where the interconnectedness of these stories is going to be really more than we thought it would be. And I'll give full credit to the writers for expanding the map and the geography of our storytelling. And I'm really grateful. Now, we're in second season, and we're going to be going to the far eastern lands. It's super exciting. This is really exciting for me. Really cool. Really cool.
What? So, all right, I will counterpoint that. I do not like the idea. I am not personally excited about these guys being the Blue Wizards for casting reasons. I think that if I understand correctly, that the wizards, all of them, all the wizards, always show up as older gentlemen, older men. Like,
Yes.
that's canon. And
Yeah.
also,
so that no one would assume how much power they had. They were supposed to be assumed old and frail. That's part of the whole mythological idea that Odin Allfather, the greatest of the gods of Asgard, would come to Midgard, but he would show up as a frail old hermit, and nobody would know Odin's secret power. That's totally in alignment with how Tolkien presented the Istari within that vein of the narrative. Totally
also,
within that.
it's my understanding of the lore that the wizards took a familiar form to the cultures that they inhabited. So when the blue wizards go east, they look like they belong in the cultures of the east. When Radagast the Brown decides to become one with the forests, you see a bird's nest in his hat. Like he looks the part. And then the white wizard and the gray wizard mingle amongst the men of Rohan and the men of Middle Earth, so they look
and the
like
elves
the men
and the dwarves. Yes.
Right. So my opinion is, if the blue wizards went east, they should look like the wizards of the east. They should look like the cultures of the east. I don't like the idea of these very Western-looking actors, Daniel Wayman and Ciarán Hinds, playing the Blue Wizards. It's such an opportunity. It would be such an opportunity to miss in casting some of the best actors from the Asian continent. And we've talked about this in the lead up to season 1. Some of the best Iranian actors, Middle Eastern actors, Chinese actors. There are so many wonderful people, actors that are as accomplished as Ciarán Hinds here, and that would be a perfect fit.
I've spent years saying that Ken Watanabe would be one of the best blue wizards ever, for the same reason.
So I don't like the idea that these are blue wizards. I think it's really simple, and to make this a mass audience show as big as possible, it's Gandalf and Saruman. And as we know, Saruman goes to Middle Earth first.
Let's go with that.
Saruman goes to Middle Earth first. Ciarán Hinds is Saruman. He came first.
All right.
He
He
sees the meteor, and now he's on the hunt to find the other wizards.
It is in the books that he goes traveling in the east. Okay? It is in the books that Saruman makes many travels
exactly.
to the east.
So this
However,
makes sense.
it is not that he went traveling to the east looking for any of the other Istari. That is probably what you'd call a new fictional creation of the show.
I'm okay with that.
Not,
I'm okay with that.
but that's okay.
And
But just to clarify, now let's go with what you've suggested. Let's say that Mr. Wayman and Mr. Hines are Saruman Gandalf. That means there's room for more casting, 2 more actors later on that might be in later seasons. That's a really cool idea that we might get other 2 blue wizards later on. I'll go with that. I will go along with that.
I think it's too bad Matt had to bow out, because I believe Matt was on record during season 1 saying that the stranger that we know already, he does not want him to be Gandalf. So there's a lot of fans that don't want him to be Gandalf. Of course, I want him to be Gandalf. And so let me ask you this, Cliff. If this is Saruman, how does Kieran Hines stack up against the great Christopher Lee?
Excellent choice. Excellent. If you're really, if they are ever going to assume someone walk into the footsteps of Christopher Lee, one of the few people on earth who might be able to do it is that man right there, Kieran Hines. I agree with that.
He has the voice. He has the stature. He has the confidence.
He has the gravity in his eyes without saying anything, without saying a word. He has the gravity in his eyes and in his face. He has that. He absolutely has that. I would agree with that.
It's a home run casting. If he's Saruman, it's a home run, 99%.
Okay, let's go with that. All right. It's cool.
This might be the best, second best casting decision since Morpeth Clark. This might be the best casting decision they've ever made. To fill the Saruman, the legacy of Saruman continues on with this guy.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing. All it requires is for the ongoing caveat that we tell people that the wizards did not actually appear in the second age of Middle-earth. They appeared thousands of years later, but you can always just make that like,
I've never believed in all of that time
make a conversation
stuff that you guys complain about. It's useless. We're telling a good TV story.
It's not useless to ignore the lore, and thank you very much for allowing me to defend it. Thank you very much for me just to say something that you can embrace what is an odd and interesting mixture of different things in the show, while still holding on to the acknowledgement that it was written the other way, and therefore this is more refreshing, more different, and more of a novelty, perhaps. But at least you can hold on to both at the same time, and that's something that Corey Olson was saying at our Comic-Con panel 2 years ago. There is space in your brain to hold both at the same time. The literature and the new interesting remix of things the show is doing. So there is a brainwave that most human beings can hold in their brain skull at the same time. And I would say we can do this. Okay?
Well, Daniel in chat room says Gandalf being introduced into the show just seems like fan service. I'm sorry. Well, Daniel, this show needs some fan service. That's okay. If Daniel Wayman is Gandalf. Like, he even says, follow your nose. Come on, guys. Come on. If they pull a bait and switch,
but Matt said, and other
dialogue,
people have said that's a little bit too on the nose to use that exact dialogue. It's a little bit too dialed in, maybe, and that's why they have suspicions that it might be a different wizard.
And also, we know Gandalf had an affinity for the halflings, and suddenly this guy falls to Earth and gets an affinity for halflings. Like, it just makes sense, and it just feels like a waste of time to put that whole wizard thing into a mystery box. We would have had so much more fun with the show if they didn't mystery box the wizards. Just tell us this.
I agree.
I hope this guy shows up. I hope Kieran shows up, and the first words out of his mouth is, "I am Saruman, and I've been looking for you." Like, literally, I've been looking for you, Gandalf. If they take anything
Saruman,
from the fan feedback,
I've been looking for you, Gandalf. Complete the sentence with that button, Gandalf. Or maybe Tom Bombadil gives the stranger his name. But you're thinking that it should not be anything less. And I get that. I totally get that. If you're going to bring the wizards into the second age, you might as well start with these early versions of Gandalf and Saruman. And I think that leaves a lot of tantalizing room for the other wizards to show up in later seasons.
I hope
it really
so,
does.
and I do hope
really
that
does.
they don't. I do hope that they use the names of the blue wizards
Ooh,
that Tolkien
Kurumo.
did
Yeah.
in later in life. What was their name? Romastamo.
Uh,
I've never liked the names Alatar and Palando. I loved the late Tolkien life
The late
renaming
Tolkien
of the
changed
blue
from
wizards.
Alatar and Piondo. Okay, if it's not Alatar and Palando,
It's like Romastamo
and hold on, Rome, and yeah, here it is, Romastamo and Morinhatar.
yeah. I think that
Morinhatar
they
and
should do
Romastamo.
that in the show, but that's a whole rights thing. So, all right,
It
so
is-
that's
yeah,
the
well, that's
big
a whole
that's
thing.
the big reveal today, which is half
Wow.
rumor and half official in Total Film. Again, today the article from Total Film was posted. We've got links to all of the latest articles. There's about 15 new articles that you should read at theonering.net. We've linked to them all in Discord in the announcements channel, so you can find links to all this, including today's new thing, which has huge spoilers from the showrunners themselves about the opening scene to season 2, and a confirmation that Kieran Hines is going to be a
Wild.
wizard. And then the rumors are Cliff likes the idea of these are blue wizards, and I like the idea that it's Gandalf and Saruman, and this might be Saruman. So
Well,
we will find out August 29th, won't we?
I guess we will. We will find out. I mean, I didn't say I like the idea. I said it was a fairly predictable idea that these might be the two blue wizards. But I mean, I really want to see Ken Watanabe as a blue wizard. That would be the best thing ever of all time. Of all time, that would be the best.
All time. All right, as we leave you,
Hey,
I have an amazing video to show, and I hope we don't get copyright clipped. That's why I saved it for the end of the show. So Cliff is
Okay,
going to
here
do
it
his
is.
sign off, and then we're going to roll tape on the best new commercial teaser trailer, the best new commercial teaser trailer for
Wow.
Rings of Power season 2. It is
Wow.
fan made, but it is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I almost wish that Amazon would market the show like the edit in this thing. So I can't
Whoa,
I can't wait
okay,
for you
wow.
guys to see it. It's
a
incredible.
really cool fan edit.
In the meantime,
okay.
we thank you for doing this long show. We've got all of our shirts here. Look, we've got I got my shiny silver shirt. We got Nerd of the Rings hats.
Silver anniversary.
We got so much going on. We're gonna see you next week at Comic-Con with all of the goodness we just talked about. Thank you for joining us. Cliff,
Are we
take
doing
us
a
out.
show next week? Are we doing a show next week? Maybe not.
We have to think about this. Episode 650. I feel like it should be a party of special magnificence, but we're all
You know what?
going to
Why don't I-
Comic-Con.
Why don't I do a small reading? I'll do a small reading privately. Maybe something interesting like that. Maybe. A direct reading from Tolkien. But yeah, we're all going to be busy going to Comic-Con, so how can we do it? Well, we'll think about it. We'll do the possibilities. Okay. Oh, Paul says you must. Paul says you must. That's so fabulous. Okay. We're going to say goodnight, and then Justin's going to close us out with this remarkable fan edit of marketing material. Somebody's going to join us for the farewell sign-off. Okay, here he is. The little gray wanderer named Mithrandir. Here he is. And he says, good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us in the live chat, Discord, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I guess we're not doing Twitter anymore. And Facebook and everybody in between. All of you wonderful people who have joined us again for Torn Tuesday.
I'm getting texts about the
Thank you.
party. Again, the last 2 years, our party has sold out in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. It barely takes us a few minutes.
And
then
look,
it's
we
sold out.
tried to get
Yeah.
more tickets. We tried to get a bigger venue. We try to take care of as many people as possible. But again, you heard it. You heard it from Green Dragon herself. we are capped at 200 tickets. So we're gonna do our best to communicate to you, the fans, first before it goes public on anything. So pay attention to the article. I think we'll post details on an article tomorrow. Thursday morning, you'll want to be at your keyboard, and we'll try to post the link for you in the Discord first before we tweet it out, because we want you. You are our most loyal audience, and you are this community. So we want you guys there first. So that's what we're going to try to do. We've learned a lot over the last couple years doing ticket sales, and we're going to try our best to be even better. So stay tuned for Thursday. Thank you.
Thursday morning, watch the Discord and look for announcements on our socials. Everybody, thank you again for being with us. And a big acknowledgement to everybody in the online world who takes time to come and be part of our conversation every Tuesday. Thank you for being with us. You can find me online, QuickBeam2000, at Instagram and Twitter. You can also find theonering.net on all social channels by taking out the .net and just dial in the One Ring Net. And there we are. Find us on Discord and follow us for robust conversation, and I should also say well-moderated, robust conversation. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes, Kelly and Jordan and Matt and Justin, everybody who came to join us on our show today. Wonderful show today. And so we say, until next time, get ready for Comic-Con, everyone. We'll see you there in San Diego. But until next time, take good care of yourselves. Be safe and be kind to one another. Thank you, good night, and good luck. Or better yet, buenas noches y buena suerte. Bye, everybody.
I think he has been here. I think he's been here among us all along.
Inside your mind, the rest of him slithers in.
I think he has been here.
Wow.